It usually takes me 4 to 6 months to make a new app, but I think that's way too long, so I want to try something. If I take a new approach, can I make a legit app in just 1 week? I want to do this in a week to show that it doesn't have to take several months to make a real app. So even if you're really busy, it's possible to make an app that people are actually willing to pay for. The app is specifically going to be an affiliate purchase tracker, which means it needs to create a link to the user's store with a tag to a specific affiliate. And then when someone who clicked on that link buys something, my app will record that purchase and say this person was referred by this affiliate. The only problem is that I have no idea how to do that. But I have a plan, and this is why I think I can do it in a week. The idea is to take the task and break it down into the specific steps I need to take to get it working, until I find something I can figure out, and I'll keep going from there. I'm trying to take the shortest possible path to getting this app done, which means I'll hopefully only learn the stuff I need to publish the app. I did some brainstorming, and I think there are 3 main things I need to get the app working. I need to be able to create an affiliate link and know if someone has clicked it. I need to be able to track when someone has placed an order, and I need a dashboard so users can interact with the data. I already know how to make a dashboard, so I'm going to leave that for now, but I do need to figure out how to know when someone has clicked an affiliate link and how to track when someone makes a purchase. So I'm going to break them down into steps until I can figure it out. So I know from checking how other apps do this that a link will usually have a question mark after it with an affiliate equals the name of the affiliate. So I asked ChatGPT what that was, and apparently that's used to create a cookie. So if I can figure out how to add a cookie, it should tell me if someone has clicked the referral link. And I'm sure the Shopify API has some way to create a cookie. So if I can figure that out, then I should be able to get the affiliate link working. So I think I found Shopify's code to add a cookie, but I need it to run when someone visits the user's website, so I'm going to have to add a script that runs whenever someone visits one of their pages. It seems like Shopify uses script tags for this, so I'm going to make a script tag that checks for the question mark area after the URL, and if there's something there, then it creates a cookie that gets saved to the visitor's browser. I wanted to make sure it worked before doing anything fancy, so I made a button that makes an API call to create the script tag. So I added it, and it actually worked, which is great, so now we should be able to go on to the next step. So I took a little break once I finished adding that, but when I came back, I was looking at the script tag documentation, and apparently Shopify doesn't really like when apps use script tags and they kind of just have them there as a last resort, and it says I should use a pixel instead. So I was looking into what pixels do, and apparently it lets you add a script to a website and track when someone makes an order, and it's way lighter on the website. So it seems like I can do everything I need the app to do with a pixel. So I'm going to try and get the cookie to work with the pixel, and then I'm going to try and figure out how it handles order tracking. So again, I just made a button that calls the Shopify API to make a pixel, and I made it just add a log when anyone visits a page on the website so I can track that it's working. So once that was working, I added the cookie code, which was actually pretty simple because I just copy and pasted the code from the script tag. For some reason, the cookie is only staying when the affiliate link points to the home page, but I'm going to leave that for now because that shouldn't be that hard to fix. Now I can start on the order tracking, and it seems like the way that works is that the pixel lets you specify certain events to subscribe to, and whenever the event occurs, it sends that information to a server endpoint that you specify. So now I have to figure out how to make a server endpoint, but I don't think that should be too difficult because I already have some experience with web hosting from my other app. So I made a server endpoint with my app's URL, and I told the pixel to subscribe to the page view event, so it should send a request to my server whenever I visit a page on my website. My thought is it's easier to reload a page to test if it's working rather than having to place a new order every single time. And I should just be able to update the pixel to subscribe to the order placed event rather than the page view event. So I'm testing it, and for some reason it's not sending a signal to my server whenever I reload the page. So I need to try and figure out why it's not working. Okay, it was broken for the stupidest reason. When I had AI generate the code to contact my server, it made the server endpoint your-server.com, and it literally wrote over the actual server endpoint that I specified, which is super annoying, but that kind of just happens sometimes when you're coding with AI. Anyways, I finally got it working, and now it finally sends a request to my server that tells my database to add 1 to the page's view count. Now it's finally time to update the pixel to subscribe to the order placed event. It was actually surprisingly easy to get the pixel to send the affiliate cookie value along with the order. I just had to update my pixel code to say after someone sends an order but before sending the order data, just check if there's an affiliate cookie, and if there is, then add that to the order data. It's finally working. Now whenever someone clicks on an affiliate link and places an order, I can tell exactly which affiliate link they came from, which means that the core functionality of the app works. So now that everything is working, it's finally time to start on the dashboard. I started with the homepage, and I figured that users would want to be able to quickly see if there's any new referrals. So I made a list of all the most recent referrals for easy access. And I also added some blocks at the top with some statistics about the user's store because I figured it'd be pretty satisfying to see big numbers with all the affiliate sales. After that, I added a second page that lets users manage specific affiliates, and then I added an interface to see each affiliate's data and change any of their settings. And I added most of those UI elements as placeholders, so now it's time to plug in the real data. And something interesting that happened while I was designing the dashboard was that I got super decision fatigue. After spending a bunch of hours straight deciding what should go where and where the users would want to interact with stuff, it got to a point where I could just barely think of what the right decision could be. So it was really nice to just plug in values for a change because that's more problem solving than making open-ended decisions. Okay, I think the dashboard looks good enough for now, and plugging in all the data and getting everything to work took a while, so I'm going to try and tackle the rest tomorrow. Okay, it's the final day and I want to make sure that I have everything I need to do laid out so I can prioritize things. So I'm going to make a list of absolutely everything I have left to do before I can submit the app. Oh my god, I think I way underestimated the amount of stuff I have to do, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it done in a single day, but I'm committed, so I'm just gonna do my best and get started. This is probably gonna be a pretty late night. Okay, I was fixing some bugs when I got a good idea on how I might be able to fix the bug where the cookie tracking only works if it goes to the root domain. So I'm gonna try and fix it real quick, but I have a lot of stuff to do, so I can't get caught up on it. Okay, that didn't work, but it gave me a really good idea on how I could actually fix it. So I'm gonna do that and it should be pretty quick. Okay, that also didn't work, but I know I can do this. I know I'm really close. Okay, it was really stupid to spend that much time trying to fix that, and I actually didn't even fix it. But it was just so tempting because I kept getting so close to fixing it. But no, I can't spend more time on this. I've already been coding for 7 hours straight. I think the best option is just to post the problem on the Shopify dev forum and hope that someone answers it. I'm putting a hard cap on trying to fix this. I've already wasted way too much time on this. Alright, I've already been coding for 9 full hours today, but I'm gonna get this app done. I don't care how late I have to stay up. I have to set up hosting, which should be pretty quick since I've already done it. And then I have to set up the app listing, which means I have to make a logo, write a bunch of copy, and then make a few promotional images. And then I have to do one final inspection of the app to check for bugs, because if there's any bugs, they won't approve it for the App Store. I started by setting up the hosting, which went pretty smoothly because I had already made a server with Heroku, although there was a bit of a hiccup with the access scope, so it took about an hour. And once I was done with that, I started with the app listing, and I started with the name, and I called it Affilitrack, but I was initially going to call it Affilitrack with a CK, and I really wanted that so my app would show up when people search affiliate marketing, so I took out the C, so now it's just Affilitrack with a K. And then I quickly wrote the copy, but I didn't spend too much time on it because it was already super late at night. And then I made the logo, and I also didn't want to spend too much time on it, so I just made a green gradient and added an A but extended the little dash part and tilted it on its side so it kind of looks like an A and a K together. And then finally I made the promotional images, and at this point it was like 2 in the morning, so I honestly just took screenshots of the app and put them on a green gradient with text and just called it good. Once the listing was done, I did a final pass over the app to make sure that everything was good, and I didn't find any obvious bugs, so I finally, at 3 in the morning, submitted the app to the Shopify App Store. Okay, I just got the review feedback, and it looks like there were a few bugs, but nothing too major. And also, about 2 days after I submitted the app, a Shopify employee responded to my question with the exact syntax that I needed to use, and so I implemented it and it worked first try, so that was so helpful. Then while I was fixing the other bugs, I kept thinking about something the app review person said. They asked how the app handles paying affiliates, and I actually thought about this while I was working on the app, and my thought was that I would just leave it until later down the line, but after they asked that, it reminded me of my original approach for this project. I said if I didn't know how to do something, I would just break it down into steps until I figured it out. So I figured, why shouldn't I just try and add PayPal so users can pay out merchants through the app? It would be super convenient. And I also really wasn't happy with the current payout functionality of the app because it kind of made it feel low effort, and I figure if I add payments to it, that makes the app feel a lot more legit. So even though I have no idea how to do it, I'm just going to try and add payments. So like everything else in this project, I started by breaking it down into steps, and I knew it was possible because I had seen other apps do it too. So I kind of just started by asking ChatGPT how PayPal handles payouts, and I described what I specifically needed to do, and it told me that PayPal has something called the Payouts API, which lets users authorize an app to make payments on their behalf, so that's pretty much exactly what I need. So I started by making a developer account and I applied for the Payouts API, and they approved it after about 2 days, but while I was waiting for the approval, I tried to implement it using the Sandbox API key, and it was a little frustrating because it didn't work at first, but I realized I wasn't actually authenticated, so I implemented an authentication function for PayPal where you click a button and it takes you to PayPal so you can sign in and authorize the app to make payouts. Although when I tried it, it wouldn't let me log in, and I realized after like 2 hours that it's because the PayPal Sandbox mode only works with the Sandbox email that they give you, so once I signed in with the Sandbox email, it worked perfectly. I also wanted to encrypt the data that was being stored in my database because I wanted to make sure that only the user could authorize payouts. I had never actually implemented an encryption algorithm before, but I figured it wouldn't be too hard to figure it out. And it turns out that since it's been implemented like a gazillion times, AI knew exactly how to do it. Essentially, you start by generating a random 64-character string and use that as a cipher to encode the data, and then you can send or save that data, and then on the other side you use the same string to decode the data by just applying the cipher in reverse. I'm actually really excited about the payouts feature because I think it makes the app feel way more legit and useful. So once that was done, I fixed the bugs from before and resubmitted it. And it turned out there were a few more bugs, so it took one more time, but I submitted it again, and it finally got approved to be a real app on the Shopify App Store. So there it is. The app is on the App Store and you can actually go install it. I'm really happy with the way the app turned out, but I still want to add a lot of features to it, so I'm going to keep working on it. If you want to help me succeed with this, the most helpful thing thing you could do is if you have a Shopify store, go install the app and leave a review with whatever you think of it. That would seriously do so much to help the app grow. There's a free tier, so you don't have to pay to try it, but you're allowed to be honest with your reviews. If you don't like the app, you can say why and I'll try and make the app better. You can hold me accountable. And if you don't have a Shopify store but you're still here, I'm assuming you probably found this video at least somewhat interesting, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribed if you think I've earned it. I'm working on a few other videos and I'm gonna make an update on how the app did in a few months. So if you subscribe, YouTube will probably recommend them to you when they come out. And that's all for now. I really appreciate you sticking around. Alright, bye.